It is my privilege and honor to request the Honorable Minister to deliver the keynote address.
Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar and greetings from New Delhi. It is my greatest pleasure to be amongst you today on the sidelines of the 66th Commission on the Status of Women. At the onset, I would like to congratulate the All India Women's Education Fund Association and the Permanent Mission of India to the United Nations for organizing this important event, focusing on the concept of lifestyle for environment or life in relation to women and young girls. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the UN Women Executive Director Seema Baus and the distinguished permanent representatives for Bangladesh, Guyana and Bhutan for their kind participation. We all eagerly look forward to listening to your views with great interest. Ladies and gentlemen, on one hand, there is a growing recognition of the disproportionate impact that climate change will have on women, while on the other hand, there is rising awareness of the tremendous social, economic, and climate resilient benefits that gender equality and women's empowerment can bring to this segment. This evolution is reflected in the progress made in terms of mainstreaming gender into climate resilient promising practices. At Glasgow COP26, the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi proposed a one-word movement, life, a mass movement that influences lifestyle for environment, promoting mindful and deliberate utilization of resources instead of mindless and destructive consumption, and set goals that could revolutionize many segments such as fishing, agriculture, wellness, dietary choices, packaging, housing, hospitality, tourism, clothing, fashion, water management, and energy. Life is about making lifestyle choices to improve our planet. It aims to be a coalition of like-minded individuals across the world who will promote together sustainable lifestyles. We call them the pro-planet people. Indian traditions and culture are natural sources of inspiration for this initiative. Indians have perpetually lived in harmony with nature. Reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, redesign, and remanufacture have been a part of India's cultural and business ethos. India will continue to act in favor of climate resilient policies and practices, as has been our civilizational endeavor. Since the Stockholm Conference 50 years ago, a lot has been said on the environment, but little has been done for women in correlation to the environment. But in India, we have walked the talk. Equitable energy access has been a cornerstone of our environmental policy. Through the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, more than 90 million households have been provided access to clean cooking fuel, safeguarding women's health by providing them with clean, smokeless cooking fuel, while reducing the burden from drudgery of collecting firewood. An independent assessment recently of the scheme estimates that over 150,000 lives were saved in the year 2019 alone, a 13% reduction in air pollution deaths, while helping in avoiding at least 1.8 million tons of PM 2.5 emissions in the same year. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, agriculture is another instance where climate change will exacerbate the existing barriers faced by female farmers. Women comprise over 60% of the agricultural workforce and play a critical role in supporting household and community food security and nutrition needs. Cognizant of the fact that women are more easily trapped in a downward spiral in the absence of concerted efforts to close the gender gap in access to productive resources for climate resilient agriculture, the Government of India has taken steps in targeted outreach, and special provisions have been made for women engaged in agriculture by investing in climate resilient infrastructure, assets, and adoption of new farming practices, including women's increased access to long-term affordable finance and agricultural extension services. Under the Pradhan Mantri Kusum scheme, we are in the Government of India encouraging farmers to set up solar panels and sell surplus power to the grid. Standalone solar pumps, as well as efforts for solarizing existing pumps, are being scaled up. We are focusing on chemical-free natural farming that will also help promote sustainability and equity. The National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture makes agriculture more productive, sustainable, remunerative, and climate resilient by promoting location-specific, integrated, and composite farming systems. India, with its rich and diverse culture, has many examples of women who have been and continue to engage in climate-resilient agriculture and are custodians of rich indigenous knowledge. They do organic farming for sustainable development, including preservation of traditional seeds, maintaining seed banks, and practicing diversified cropping patterns, make and use organic manure and biopesticides that promote ecological agriculture and preserve our biodiversity. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, India is investing over $6.67 billion in this financial year alone under the flagship scheme of the Honorable Prime Minister named the Jal Jeevan Mission. It is a bold ambition to provide safe and adequate drinking water by the year 2024 to all households in rural India. Ingrained in sustainability measures, this mission is enabling water conservation, recharge and reuse through grey water management, rainwater harvesting, and engages with the community at large to influence behavioral change and responsible usage of water. While women are the largest beneficiaries of the Jal Jeevan Mission, they also have been placed in key leadership positions to ensure timely implementation of the scheme and monitoring of the scheme at the grassroots level. Women constitute 50% of the members of the water and sanitation committees in India and have been appointed as Jal Sakhis, who are trained to check the quality of water in our communities. India has brought about reforms that are helping the world navigate through climate emergency. The world recognizes the use and adoption of solar power as the key element of the global action on climate. India has taken the revolutionary step of announcing the formation of the International Solar Alliance and has created a coalition for disaster-resilient infrastructure for climate adaptation. This is a sensitive and vital initiative to save millions of lives across the world. As a part of taking this change to the Indian grassroots, the Government of India is revamping our Anganwadi centers, the world's largest community-based programs that aims to holistically address health, nutrition, and educational needs of our children and future mothers. Smart Anganwadis, as we call them now, are solar-powered community centers to improve service delivery and host a range of basic services and activities for our underserved communities. This serves a three-way purpose: continued and efficient service delivery of basic necessities to women and children in our communities, raising awareness about clean energy and its direct welfare impact on women and children, and promoting female entrepreneurs in the renewable sector to support installation and management of clean energy interventions. Further, the ecosystem for female entrepreneurship and participation in the energy value chain is also being strengthened by the Government of India. From sustainable and biodegradable menstrual hygiene products to sustainable fashion and circular economy, female entrepreneurs are leading in innovating for sustainable solutions. We are also seeing solar systems which are being used to run solar water purification plants, mobile charging stations, and selling of dried agri-produce like mushrooms and gooseberry, enabling creation of micro-enterprises across the rural landscape by women in India. Our electric vehicle strategies is at the core of reducing carbon footprint, in which women play a significant part in our industry, from data analysis, simulation, engineering redesign, validation, mobility solution, and disruptive technology processes. India is home to the world's largest all-women-run e-scooter factory, which currently employs over 10,000 women. India is also at the forefront of protecting ecology. With 2.4% of the world's land area, India accounts for nearly 8% of the world's species. We are strengthening our protected area network, and our efforts have been recognized by the IUCN. India now has 49 Ramsar sites spread over more than 1 million hectares. Restoring degraded land has been one of our main focus areas, and since 2015, we in India have restored more than 11.5 million hectares. Ladies and gentlemen, in India, from Gaura Devi, who led the Chipko movement in 1974, organizing women to hug trees so that they can be prevented from being cut, to Tulsi Gowda, a tribal female environmentalist who has planted over 30,000 saplings over the past 60 years, India is home to numerous women who are leading India's equitable and inclusive actions for a sustainable tomorrow. India firmly believes in fulfilling all our commitments made under the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. We are proud that India's per capita carbon footprint is 60% lower than the global average. We have raised our ambition during COP26 at Glasgow. However, environmental sustainability can only be achieved through climate justice. And we would all agree that successful climate action also needs adequate financing. We must work towards the aim of one sun, one world, one grid to ensure availability of clean energy from a worldwide grid everywhere at all times. This is the whole of the world holistic approach that India values and stands for. Together with the International Solar Alliance and Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, LIFE forms part of the trinity of our environment efforts for improving the global commons. Allow me to quote and close by invoking the name of my Prime Minister and the guiding mantra that he gives, that Sanyam, restraint, and Sankalp, namely determination, are the two key principles behind India's commitment to gender-responsive climate action for an equitable, inclusive, and sustainable tomorrow. Women are and will continue to be an indispensable part of India's sustainable growth journey, a journey which enables a world we women and our girls want, a lifetime commitment to sustainability, an Indian journey which ensures life becomes a global priority. Jai Hind.